Hi, welcome to the chat show presented by Weaving Stories. As always, we have interesting guests and very special speakers and interesting topics. So once again, today we've come with an episode which will deal with a very, very important and a very crucial subject, and that is COVID vaccine and everything you should know about COVID vaccines. To discuss this topic, we have a very special guest, a very senior doctor, Sandeep Buddhiraja. Dr. Sandeep Buddhiraja is the Group Medical Director and Senior Director of Internal Medicine at Max Healthcare, New Delhi. In his role as the Group Medical Director, he provides key clinical leadership for achieving clinical excellence and patient safety. And above all, viewers, I must tell you that Dr. Buddhiraja has a very huge fan following. Just because he is so caring and compassionate as a doctor, he comes across as a very, very compassionate human being and not just as a formal doctor. And I must admit that I'm also one of those fans. Welcome, Dr. Sandeep.
Thank you, Sharmila. Thank you for those kind words.
Okay, so today we are going to discuss everything about COVID vaccines, since we have so many questions, and I'm sure even viewers will have. So first of all, I want to know: does everyone need a COVID vaccine, even those who've already um, had COVID already?
Yeah, so a brief answer to that question is yes. Everybody who is fitting into the appropriate criteria for COVID vaccine must take it. And presently, that definition is anybody who's above 18 years of age. And during pregnancy and breastfeeding, we do not allow COVID vaccine. And in a woman who's planning to get pregnant in 2 months' time also should avoid it. Rest, everybody should take this vaccine. The second part of the question was that if somebody has had COVID in past, does he or she still need COVID vaccine? Answer to that is yes, but there should be an interval of about 3 months from the recovery of the COVID episode before this person can have the vaccine.
Okay, for the vaccines that have been approved in India, do we have proof of their effectiveness and safety?
Yeah, so there are 2 vaccines which have been approved by the Drug Controller of India. One is the Covishield, which is the drug manufactured by AstraZeneca and Oxford, and in India it is produced by Serum Institute of India. And the other is a completely indigenous vaccine called Covaxin, which is being manufactured by Bharat Biotech in collaboration with ICMR. Both these have been given approval by drug controller. That means these vaccines have gone through phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trial, and phase 3 I'll just talk about. So phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trial is a trial which fixes the safety profile of the vaccine. That means these vaccines are safe for use in humans, and then only this vaccine proceeds on to phase 3 trials. Now for Covishield, which is the Serum Institute, phase 3 trials have been done in many countries and have shown an effectiveness or efficacy of the vaccine to be varying between 70 to 90%. In terms of Bharat Biotech vaccine, which is a Covaxin, the phase 3 trials are ongoing, but whatever data has come in so far indicates that the vaccine is also going to be a very effective vaccine. In terms of side effects, one can expect minor side effects like low-grade fever, body aches, little bit of nausea, or maybe some pain at the site of injection. These are all very minor side effects, and a person after getting the vaccine is observed for 30 minutes, and once the doctor is reassured that everything is okay, then only a person is allowed to go home. And other vaccines also which are available in the world have so far been shown to be reasonably good effectiveness and are safe for human use.
Okay, so how long is the COVID-19 vaccine effective for, and does it become an annual vaccine like the flu vaccine?
So really one doesn't know the answers to that. What we know is that this vaccine is to be taken as 2 shots at 4 weeks interval. If one does that properly, takes both the shots, 2 weeks after the second dose is when you become protected from COVID. And again, as I said, the effectiveness is 70 to 90%. That means not everyone who has taken the COVID vaccine will get full protection. But even if one gets a disease after getting the vaccination, the disease will not be severe. The disease will prevent hospitalization and will prevent deaths. So it is actually very, very useful vaccine to take. How long the effectiveness will last, one really doesn't know. But one presumes that it will be for almost a year or even more than a year. If we see that after 1 year the effectiveness declines, then yes, you would need a booster every 1 year, and then it becomes something like an annual flu vaccine. But that answer we'll have to wait and see how the effectiveness. In best case scenario, this could be just a one-time vaccine and may give you a long-term immunity. At worst case scenario, it may need a booster every few months to a year. We have to wait and see.
Okay. So how does one prepare to get the vaccine? Are there some you suggest some kind of preparation should be done?
I think the only preparation is to mentally prepare yourself and be positive, and do not go by what the rumors say. A lot of vaccine hesitancy is there in the community. A lot of people are talking against vaccines, but I personally feel that that is not scientifically corroborated. It is a safe and effective vaccine, and one should just go ahead and take it. Obviously, if, as I just said, a person is pregnant or is breastfeeding, then you are not the right candidate to take the vaccine. As the vaccine has not been tested in children, so it is presently not recommended for children under 18 years of age. But as time goes on and we get more experience, these age groups may also get allowed. People who are at higher risk of getting a severe COVID infection, like elderly people or people with some medical comorbidities, it is very, very important for them to take the vaccine. And it is equally important for the younger lot also to take the vaccine, because it is they who spread the disease without themselves getting infection. So I think as much of the population who's available, who's not yet infected, should take the vaccine. And those who have got the infection should also subsequently take it, although they are not in any urgency to get the vaccine right away.
Okay. So any other tip or any other important information you would like to give to a layman about a COVID vaccine?
Yeah. So, I think what we are talking and addressing these questions almost on a daily basis, because there are a lot of apprehensions and concerns in people's mind. And the concerns I'll put down as follows. One very common concern is for younger people, will it make a person infertile? Answer is no. There are as yet no proven such negative effects of this vaccine. Number two, the question is, can this vaccine give me COVID infection? Answer is no. The two types of vaccines which we are using in India, the Covaxin is a completely killed virus vaccine. So killed virus cannot give you the infection. And the second, the Covishield, is a very interesting technology where the genetic material of the virus is put into a virus which causes flu in chimpanzees. But in human beings, it does not cause any infection. So this chimpanzee adenovirus is acting as a carrier of the vaccine to human beings. And all these vaccines do is to create a protective antibody or protective proteins in your body, so that in future, if you get exposed to COVID virus, your body immediately will attack that virus and kill it and prevent you from getting a disease. The third question people ask is, I'm very old, my parents are very old, they are frail, should they take the vaccine? Again, the answer to that is yes. Unless until a patient has an active infection, either COVID or some other infection, or has high fever or fever because of any other reason, these are the group of people who should not take vaccine at that point and wait for at least 4 to 8 weeks before they can take the vaccine. And the next point we are being asked very commonly is, how do I know that I am in the candidate of the vaccine, and or rather when will I get the vaccine? So for that, what Government of India has done is created a priority list of people who will be given the vaccine in the first phase. And the first phase is next 6 to 7 months, where 30 crore Indians will be vaccinated. The first one to be vaccinated, we know 1 crore population is that of healthcare workers. Second, next 2 crores will be the frontline sanitation workers, police, civil defense, army, etc. And the third line of this phase 1 would be anybody who's above 50 years of age and those who are less than 50 years of age and have some medical comorbidities. Once we cover this 30 crore population, then the focus will shift to the younger population and they will be vaccinated. So almost entire 2021 and maybe some early part of 2022 will go on in vaccinating the population of our country. The other thing is the entire population of the country to be vaccinated? Answer is no. There is a phenomena called as herd immunity. Now, herd immunity sets in when at least 60 to 70% of the population of a country, let's say India, has either got infection or has been given the vaccine. Now, we need to understand that already a significant proportion of the population has had an infection, whether or not they had symptoms. So there have been a lot of studies done in the country, which is called seroprevalence studies, which tell us what proportion of that people in that community have developed antibodies. And various studies have shown 30 to 35% presently already have antibodies. So these people are protected. So then we need to vaccinate the remaining population, which so far is unprotected, which means at least half the population, or let's say slightly less than half the population. And that's exactly what the government is planning to do in a phased, controlled manner over the next 1 year or so. And we must really feel proud of ourselves being Indians in the way that we have already got now 2 vaccines which are manufactured in India. India is the largest manufacturer of vaccines in the world. And we are going to provide vaccines to literally half of the world's population. So I think that's something which is really a proud moment for each one of us as Indian to be. But our responsibility in this game is that we must take the vaccine, and this vaccine will give me 2 advantages. One is it will protect me from getting a disease. And secondly, as more and more people get vaccinated, they will ultimately help in breaking the chain of transmission of virus and ultimately bringing this pandemic to an end. And most importantly, one needs to understand, when people do ask this question, if I have taken the vaccine, can I stop wearing mask? Can I start partying? Can I behave like it was before pre-COVID times? And very clear answer to that is no. Even after you have been vaccinated, you need to still wear the mask. You need to still follow social distancing, and you need to follow hand hygiene by washing your hands or sanitizing whenever you touch some objects. Why this is important is because even after you have taken a vaccine, although the chances that you will get a disease is much less, but you can still transmit the virus to another person. So to really break that cycle of transmission, other than taking the vaccine, please continue to use the mask and adopt social distancing at least for next year or 2 till the pandemic comes to complete end. So all of us have equal role to help society and the world at large to get over this pandemic.
Okay. So we have a lot of viewers. Noreen is there. Farida, I want to welcome all the viewers. I can't take everybody's name. Aura is there. Gauri is there. I'm sure everybody is finding this information very useful. I want to ask you, Dr. Budhiraja, have you done this in your hospital? Have you given the vaccine in your hospital? Have you seen the effect, or can you give us first-hand information how it has gone, how it has been done?
Yeah, so there are 81 vaccinating centers in Delhi as of now, and Max has in all the major hospitals in NCR a vaccination center. So we have vaccination center in our hospital at Saket, another one at Shalimar Bagh, then at Padpadganj, then BLK Hospital, and outside of Delhi in Gurgaon and Vaishali Max Hospital. So all these centers we are vaccinating. We started the vaccination drive after Prime Minister Modi launched it on Saturday. So at most of our centers, we vaccinated between 60 to 100 beneficiaries. And happy to report. So I'm still waiting because the list comes from the government. So we really don't come to know in advance. Just one day before, a message will come through this CoWIN app informing me that I am due for vaccination tomorrow at such and such center at such and such time, and I have to report there. So I'm still waiting my turn to come in, and I'll very happily go, and I'm looking forward to it. But yes, I have experienced the center at Saket, seen the people take it, most of them. So in this first phase, as I'm saying, it's the healthcare workers who are being vaccinated. So each of our hospitals first is vaccinating their own healthcare workers, employees, but the list and the name who will get vaccination is being sent by the government of Delhi. And after a person is vaccinated, after he shows his ID proof, there's a CoWIN app where you are your entry is confirmed. Then the vaccination is given, and post-vaccination you are asked to wait there in a waiting area for 30 minutes when you are observed. After observation of 30 minutes, if everything is fine, you go back and you are called again after 4 weeks for the second dose. And then through the CoWIN app, an electronic certificate gets generated with a QR code. And that certificate is something which is internationally valid to say that you have taken the 2 doses of COVID vaccination and you are now vaccinated completely. If by chance a person gets some adverse events, the name given to this is AEFI, Adverse Event Following Immunization. So there's a doctor sitting there in the vaccination centers. There's a room dedicated for that. So anybody who gets these minor symptoms is seen there, if required, given a first aid. If rarely one gets an allergic reactions, there's an antidote kept there to take care of the allergies. Only in exceptional situations where a person gets a serious adverse event, then the person may require hospitalization. So our hospitals do have facilities to keep an observation and treat such patients. But fortunately, so far, we have not reported any major adverse events. Minor effects, like as I said earlier, local pain at the injection site and low-grade fever can happen to some people, which is like happens with any other vaccine also. So I think overall it's been a very good experience, and we hope that it is a smooth sail from here onwards.
Have you started sending our vaccine to other places, or will it take little time to other countries, as you mentioned?
So I think what I'm hearing is that the Serum Institute has signed contracts with some other countries, including Brazil, and they are in the pipeline with signing off with other countries in Africa, etc. But I think that the transport of vaccines outside of the country would happen subsequently. They are scaling up their production. So the first emphasis is that the first lot of injections should be given to the Indians. After that, once the supply ramps up, they'll start sending supplies outside also. But I think we do have enough stock of vaccine as of now to keep the first phase rolling as it is as of now.
Okay. So one person needs 2 rounds, 2 shots of the vaccine.
Yeah. So it is given at 4 weeks interval.
Okay.
And as I said, the protective effect of vaccine then starts 2 weeks after the second dose. That means it's almost 6 weeks from the time that you get your first dose that you tend to develop a good protective immunity against COVID.
Okay. We will start taking some questions from the viewers. There is, Giri has asked a question. It takes 10 to 15 years to bring a vaccine to the market, but now all companies are trying to get a vaccine out in a short span. The UK Vaccine Task Force has said that the first generation shot will be imperfect and may not work on everyone. I don't know if... would you like to answer this? It's up to you.
Yeah, sure. So, absolutely right. Conventionally, vaccine development is a process which takes almost 10 years. Okay?
Yeah.
But these are unprecedented times. These are times of pandemic. These are times when millions of people have lost lives. And I think it is impossible for situation at times like these to wait for 10 years to have enough data. Obviously, the longer you'll wait, you'll have more robust data. So I don't think that we in present times would like to wait and keep watching people die of COVID at a time when technology is so meticulously designed these vaccines based on old technology and new technology that we know these vaccines are safe. Now, WHO says any vaccine which is more than 50% efficacious is a good vaccine. So far, all the vaccines which are being launched are 70, 80, 90 or 95% effective. That means to say that it is going to give a good protection to an individual and to the community at large. And that's true. As you keep gaining more and more experience, some of these vaccines will go off the shelf, newer vaccines will come, some of these older first generation vaccines will get new development and will keep getting more and more refined. But that does not mean that we do not take vaccine at this time, because all of us need to be protected now. We can't wait for 6 months or 1 year or 2 years hoping that some maybe better vaccine will come in. This vaccine is also good. Let's take it now. If required, a booster after a year or two. We can always take whatever vaccine is available at that time, which may be superior, which may be same. But let's not take the vaccine now for just this reason. Let me tell you, science and technology in last 50 years has made extreme improvements in terms of improving our quality of life and having saved hundreds and millions of lives. And these vaccines are based on all previous technologies and what man has learned over the last 50 years. So let's make use of that and take the vaccine today.
Okay. So actually, doctors have gone through such a trying time, dealing with this COVID. So it is definitely a very good news for them. And as you're saying that it is going to show good results. It will be. What would you like to say about that? That it is definitely, we are very proud of this and how it's helping doctors.
So being a doctor at the forefront of having managed COVID, I can tell you it's for us personally being a very, very huge learning experience from a disease about which nobody knew as to how to manage it, to now knowing a lot about this disease and being able to manage and save lives. And now, after a long, long time, there's been a light at the end of the tunnel in forms of some effective vaccines which have come up. And I think this is something which is a potential to bring this pandemic to end. Other facts which I want to say is one must not take this disease lightly. Although that is true that a large majority of people who get this disease will be asymptomatic or have only a mild disease. But let me tell you, we have seen lots and lots of unexpected deaths happening even in younger people with this disease. And seemingly mild disease can turn very serious suddenly. So I think it is each one of us who's at risk, and it is each one of our responsibility to first protect ourselves and then protect others. And again, I would like to emphasize that vaccine is one thing for that, but the other things about what we call as COVID appropriate behavior, that means the social distancing and masking must always continue. And India has shown to the world that all of us know, we have been seeing that in media and news, what's the status presently in UK, what's the present situation in US. In US, there are 4,500 deaths happening a day, over 2.5 lakh new patients happening every day. Whereas India is one of the few countries which, although has the second largest number of COVID cases in the world after US, but it is one country which of the last several weeks consistently is now showing a downward trend, not only in terms of numbers of new cases, but also deaths. And also the highest recovery rate anywhere in the world. So I think, again, these statistics are something which means that we as Indians have been doing something right. Let me tell you, our level of adherence to masking and social distancing is much better than what we see in other countries. And I think that is one important protective influence. And secondly, probably as the genetic influence or the better immunity which Indians might be having might be another reason why the disease has not affected us as badly as Europe and USA. But that should not make us complacent. That should not just get us into a thinking that we are protected. We must do whatever needs to be done. And again, I request you that vaccine is one very, very important piece in that story.
Okay. So that's really wonderful, and we've gained so much knowledge, and it was so clear and interesting. Thank you very much for sparing time, Dr. Budhiraja. And I'm sure viewers have gained so much knowledge, and we will invite you over a discussion on another interesting topic so that we all get enlightened and get knowledge from other crucial subjects. Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you.
Budhiraja.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So we hope to see you with another episode, another guest speaker, and another interesting subject. Cheers. Take care. Thank you once again, Dr. Budhiraja.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Pleasure.